is going to have a difficult time. And he says there is going to be a storm and a flood and a torrent that are going to burst against both houses. The house is our life. It's going to burst against it. And somebody had a foundation, somebody didn't. And that's what we see right now. Many people will throw up the facade and talk all the Jesus stuff and do all the Jesus things and go to church every Sunday and everything else, but they have no depth within them. And so because of that, when these things happen, they will be shaken and destruction will be terrible in their life. The whole thing that Jesus ties us to is hearing and obeying. In our life, it's hearing what he says. We all want to hear, but it's now that I've heard it, I've got to do this thing. And doing it is foundation stuff. It's digging. And doing it is not going to get kudos from you. When you forgive your enemy, when you are kind to somebody, when you are walking in prayer, in the hidden place of your closet, when you're walking out righteously, giving so that your right hand doesn't know with your left hand, nobody's building you up and saying what. He's saying those are foundational principles that you lay in your life without being seen by man. And if you're obedient, then those things dig deep in your life and you're established as a foundation. It becomes a foundation in your life. Okay. Let's turn to Luke chapter 14. Then we'll just do a couple more scriptures. This is another familiar passage. Luke 14:25. Large crowds were going along with him, Jesus, and he turned to them and said, "If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not carry his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. For which one of you, when he wants to build a tower, does not first sit down and calculate the cost to see if he has enough to complete it? Otherwise, when he has laid a foundation and is not able to finish, all who observe it begin to ridicule him, saying, 'This man began to build and was not able to finish.'" This thought is a little bit different. Right now, there is a cost measuring that we have to do as we proceed on in our life. There always is. And the foundation is only the beginning. There's a whole tower. I mean, when you're talking about a tower, it's a tower that reaches to the sky. What the structure that we want to build of our life that reaches right into heaven is something that if we don't count the cost ahead of time, which is what we're asked to do right now, count the cost ahead of time and know that before I begin, I'm going to go all the way. It could be that what happens in our life is we begin something, it crumbles, and then people point to us and say, "Yeah, he really came on strong with his faith and was a real Jesus freak, but look at him now. You know, look at it. He couldn't build anything." And part of it is the Lord saying, we now know there's a cost that we have to pay, and we have to measure it, and if we're going to do it, then we've got to pay that price, and we've got to go all the way. We want to build the tower, and that building has so many stages, and you'll be tested in each level of the building process, but you determine in your heart, I am going all the way, and the foundation is the beginning. You begin to build on that foundation, and that foundation will reach even into the heavens. And then here's another scripture. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 9 says this, we are God's fellow workers. You are God's field, God's building. According to the grace of God which was given to me, like a wise master builder, I laid a foundation, and another is building upon it. But each man must be careful how he builds on it, for no man can lay a foundation other than the one which is laid, which is Jesus Christ. I taught on that, I don't know if it was last week or the week before. Now, if any man builds on the foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, each man's work will become evident, for the day will show it, because it is to be revealed with fire, and the fire itself will test the quality of each man's work. Now let's look at this. Fire. What does... You're looking at building. He uses 6 examples. Gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw. Can you tell me what the difference is between those?
Wood, hay, and straw all burn.
You do, yes.
Gold is
They do
purified,
burn.
I guess.
All right, that's good. Some more.
And stone or stones? Precious stones.
Gold, silver,
and
precious
silver.
stones. Where do they come from?
Trying to dig
The ground, pressure.
Serious question.
Where do they go? Where do you get them?
Bedrock?
You have to
You
mine
go
them.
down, don't you?
Yeah.
None of that stuff grows on a tree.
You have
If you want
to
gold,
dig for
you're
it.
getting your shovel out and you're digging for it. You want precious stones, you're going down and finding it. Gold, silver, precious stones are all underground. Again, we're digging for that which is precious. The Lord puts a high degree of importance upon the ability, the call on our life to dig deep to get that which is valuable out of our life. Wood, hay, and straw, where does that come from? It just grows right up. And the test of our life, of the fruit of our life, is not going to be visible, accessible, easily accessible. It's going to be the building process. Not only are we building a foundation digging deep, but we're building our life going deep to get those jewels, going deep to get those gold out of the ground of our life, of our heart, and building upon that so that again when the fire comes, I mean that's really, he talks about it later on, he talks about standing before the judgment seat. And the fire of his gaze, I mean I had a dream that I told a couple people about, and I was in a dream. It was a dark room, and all of a sudden the door kind of opened up, and it started to open, kind of like a drawbridge type thing, and then it was like a glow that was there. It was just kind of almost like a fiery glow. I didn't even know where I was. And all of a sudden, I'm standing there. I was like I was kneeling. I don't know why I was there. I don't know. I still don't understand necessarily what that place is. But all of a sudden, out of that place, I lifted. I was going up like